Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children. Welcome to the online teaching academy Ekalaiva. I think we already finished part 4 and we got to know about the poverty line and social exclusion, vulnerable groups, poverty estimation, everything we got to know children. Presently, in this video, we are going to study about the causes of poverty, anti-poverty measures and the challenges ahead. Now, whatever the reason might be, children, we will have a cause for it. If that cause is scrutinized properly and a solution is made, really we can solve the problem. Shall we move on to the causes? Later on, we can see the solution, and even though certain solutions were given, some more challenges might be there. We will just get to know about it, children. Shall we move on to it? Yes. Now, the first causes of poverty, that is, the cause is said to be because of the British rule, children. When we were under them as the colonies, they just hampered our handicrafts, right? And they were giving their own finished product into the market and they were getting the profit, children. So automatically, we can see to it that the handicrafts were discouraged during that time. This low rate of growth persisted until the 1990s, children, isn't it? So now we have to say even this is a cause for the poverty, right? Secondly, Green Revolution and its impact. Now, I have already told you what is the meaning of Green Revolution. So when we just put this a high yielding variety of seeds, automatically we can see the increase in the production and you can see the farmers getting profit out of it. But what happened even this green revolution coming into the farmers as such? See children, it gave lots of job opportunities to the people and many peoples were employed during this time. But we have to see one more thing. During that time, India was said to be very much overpopulated. Not only that time, but even to this day, children. So, because of this overpopulation, the people can't find any job as far as this agriculture is concerned. And also, we had public and private sectors, right? Even they could not provide the job for all the job seekers. So during that time, we saw many of the Indian people were unemployed and many people were just undergoing starvation and they were said to be in a utter hunger during that time. Thirdly, income inequalities. Now, the topic itself is saying that you had certain disparities. Now we can see to that the rich is becoming richer and the poor people are becoming poorer. Even though lots of measures was taken by the government in order to tackle this problem, they couldn't do it. We do have the farmers, right? Where they don't have money, but they wanted some inputs in order to put into their farm. So they just take money or borrow from money from the money lenders. So automatically this lead to indebtedness and finally they fall as a debt trap. So due to this, we can see that they become a bonded labor and finally to how their hereditary, you can see all the members of their family working under these landowners or zamindars. Finally, children, you already know social factors. That is, even to this day, villagers give lots of importance to the ceremonies. So, in order to just have these ceremonies, even they borrow the money from the money lenders. Finally, you can see to it when they just spend the money, too much of money for these reasons, they couldn't just pay back the money, and they have to just see to it that they are under the zamindars throughout their life. So on the whole, we can just see to it that because of the British rule, even though Green Revolution was there, they couldn't get the employment over there. And because of income inequalities, you can see many people were getting less income, and they couldn't just forego with their family with that income, or they might borrow the money from the zamindars, and ultimately they fall into debt trap. Right, children? Now we have to find a solution for this causes. You can't just blame always, or the blemish cannot fall on to the other people as such. Now, what is the solution which the government is taking over for this problem as such? So for every problem, there will be certain solutions where the people can provide, and they can just see to it that measures has been implemented properly. Shall we move on to that anti-poverty measures, children? Yes. Now, removal of this poverty has been one of the major objectives of Indian developmental strategies, children. So the current anti-poverty strategy of the government is based on two important planks. Now, what are those? First thing, they have to see that there is a promotion of economic growth, right? Secondly, they have to see targeted anti-poverty programs, right, children? Now, what is this? First, they have to see the promotion of economic growth. Now, what happened now, children? Over a period of 30 years, that is almost till 1980s, we were not finding the per capita growth in a very large extent, children. Right? And you can see to it almost there was not a reduction of poverty. So, reduction of poverty also was not so much as expected. But later on, what happened after 1980s, you can see a slight increase in the per capita income, and this enhanced some of the people to just encourage their children to send to the school, right? Okay, to including the girl child. See, children, I'm just saying it specifically because usually during those times, only the boy were given more importance, and the girl children was just made to be staying at the home, and they were just discriminated from the society as such. But here you can see even the girl child was sent to the school so that they were investing on this girl child so that they can get it back. So finally, you can come to a conclusion that it encouraged these type of steps encouraged only the urban people. But even now, the schemes has to be just going to the people who are in the rural area, and they were the one who were be having a lot of negative aspect because of this poverty as such. So the government has come forth with certain anti-poverty measures in order to help these people either in the urban area or in the rural area, children. So we can see some of the anti-poverty measures which has been taken over the government to just see to it that they can reduce the poverty level. So some of them we can just see to it now, children. That is NREGA, National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. It was actually introduced in the year 2005. So it is said to be 100 days employment. Usually we call it like this only, children, 100 days employment. That is what it is. Actually, it aims to provide 100 days of wage employment to every household to ensure livelihood, security in rural areas. It also aimed at sustainable development to address the cause of drought, deforestation, and soil erosion, children. In this job, we can see that one third of the job is given to the women, children, right? Secondly, Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana. Okay, what do you mean by Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana? It was actually started in the year 1993. Right, children? The aim of this program is to create self employment opportunities for educated, unemployed youth in rural areas and small towns. They are helped in setting up small businesses and industries. So, the young ones or the youth you who do not have the job, or even though they were educated, this came as just a boon for these people, where they were provided with certain money so that they can just start the small business. Thirdly, you have this Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana. Okay, Yojana. Now, what is this? Now, this gram itself, you can come to a conclusion where they are giving importance to the village children. Actually, this was introduced in the year 1999. So, the program aims at bringing the assisted poor families above the poverty level by organizing them into self help groups through a mix of bank credit and government subsidy. Especially, the women can be profitable by this, where they can be given through tailor machines or certain things where they can be educated, like vocational schemes of working tendency, so that they can learn to it and later on they can just start a small firm as such. So we do have more number of anti-poverty measures in order to just see to it that they can enhance the people who are in the rural area, so that even they can just see to it that certain economic growth can occur in their life. Now, even though so much of poverty measures have been taken by the government, we can see certain ineffectiveness in this also, children. Now, why you can't be successful in these agenda, whatever taken by the government, is one of the major reasons you can see to it that there was no, or you can say lack of, proper implementation and right targeting was not made. Okay, there was overlapping of lots of scheme, so that the people themselves did not understand about it. Finally, even though these anti-poverty measures were with good intention, it did not reach the deserved people. So the government presently is monitoring with all these measures whether it is reaching the correct persons whom actually it has to be given and who deserve it. Right, children? Now, we got to know the causes of poverty. We got to know the anti-poverty measures, children. Now, what is that? Still more challenges are there. Children, we have to understand one thing. Poverty is not a thing where it can be solved. Okay, we can come to a conclusion stating that a person is getting a salary, right? Okay, then he will be having his own shelter, right? Okay, food, I mean to say, the whole family is having a food, then you can see clothing. When I just introduced this chapter, I told you, what do you mean by poverty means? Poverty is said to be that where you have the basic necessities which is required for the family, that is shelter, food, and clothing. Will that be sustainable, children? Is it enough? That is enough for a family, or that is enough for a person? No, we have still more challenges. What are those challenges which we want, children? Which we want? That is the first thing I can just say, we need to have a place where no discrimination is made. right? Later on, we have to see that whether it is being provided with a good health care. Then there is a good job security for all. Above all, we should see to it that there is gender equality and dignity for the people. So from this, we can come to a conclusion stating that this is all a bigger task, children, bigger task. So we can't just conclude stating that this is the target and we have just finalized our target and our task is over. No, that task is said to be a continuous task where it will be prolonging throughout our life. So if one we have gained, we have to go in search of the other one, children. So what is that ultimate we can see to it in this chapter? We can see to it that we can't, even though the eradication of poverty has been successful, we have to go for certain other things which I told just now, that is the dignity for the poor, achieving gender equality, and of course when you have all these two, all the other things whichever I told you, then too we have to go in search of other tasks, children. I think I have made you clear by stating all the important things whichever we need for our life, children, right? Okay, so poverty cannot be just mentioned or just closed down with the meaning or a definition, children. It has to be prolonged for a long way. Okay, shall we have a quick recap with the PowerPoint? Yes, of course, our school logo, the chapter name Poverty as a Challenge, the topic which we went through just now, causes of poverty, anti-poverty measures, and the challenges ahead. So all the topic which I just taught you, now you can see the Britishers over here where we are just becoming a slaves under them, right? And you can see the failure at both the fronts, that is promotion of economic growth and of course population control perpetuated the cycle of poverty. Then you can see the rich person becoming richer and the poor person is said to be being poor always because of this income inequalities. Then, of course, you can see the people who have just borrowed the money from the zamindars or the landowners, and finally, they are under the debt trap. Okay, what are the anti-poverty measures? Before that, they want to just have these two planks where they want to see that promotion of economic growth is made and targeted anti-poverty programs has been done. So this is the first anti-poverty measures I told you, where you call it as 100 days work. Even though that person did not get the job, these employment has to give them, or these poverty measures has to give them 100 days salary, children. And of course, National Food for Work program, it was launched in 2004 in 150 most backward districts of the country. So the program is open to all rural people who are in need of wage employment and desire to do manual unskilled work. So it is implemented as a 100% sponsored scheme, and food grains are provided free of cost to the state. Absolutely awesome, children. Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana, where you can see that the youth are getting encouraged and motivated by the government by providing money where they can start a small business and industries. This is Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana, where you can see certain women can come forward and they can just start by having a self-help groups by taking a loan from the bank, and they can just start their own business. And of course the challenges ahead, even though we can see to it that to an extent the poverty level has decreased, then too we do have certain target which has to be eradicated from the society. And of course I told you, even though they have a shelter, they have a food, they have a cloth or a job security, what is that which they really deserve? And of course, we can say to it that eradication of poverty is always a moving target, children. If we have just acquired one thing, we have to go for others in search of it. So this will be a really a big task. These are the expected questions, children. Discuss the major reasons for the poverty in India. Mention the anti-poverty programs undertaken by the government. What challenges are ahead of India with respect to poverty alleviation? Yes. I have put this thank you on a mask. So please see to it, children, that you're wearing mask whenever you're going out. Yes, of course, we have come to the end of this chapter, children. To receive our online lesson, please press the button subscribe and you will receive the latest update, children. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care and be safe, children. Bye.